What's happening, guys? It's Jay coming at you from the Hooch, and we are talking about gatekeeping today. Yeah, I know. I made notes because this has been something that's been brought up over the last few weeks, and folks are starting to discuss it. So I think it's important. Um, Gatekeeping in our community, in the Minuteman community. I'm sure you guys, like I am, we're on multiple platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Telegram, um, blogs like Substack, whatever it may be, right? But not Reddit. Reddit's weird. Um, I don't hang out over there anymore. It's too weird. But anyways, so the gatekeeping aspect of this, where we see it all the time, and believe me, a bunch of us talk, we compare notes, we see comments that are made on people's channels, and it makes you scratch your head sometimes to say, what the hell are you thinking? Like, an example would be, um, like a chest rigs or radios. Radios are a good one to kind of enter into, all right? Baofeng radios. It seems like every prepper in the world has a Baofeng radio, right? Awesome. I think more preppers should get into communications and get Baofeng radios. Is it the best radio out there? No, it's not. Is it the best for folks getting into the activity for learning at a price point that they can afford to see if they're going to like it or not? Sure, why not, right? So why all the hate on a cheap radio that works? I don't quite understand. It's a gateway. This is literally it's a gateway drug into the world of comms. Somebody like myself, who I bought my, I don't know, it was one of these maybe, bought my first Baofeng radio 5 6 years ago, right? It's still working. It's we still use it. I bought several more since then. There's nothing wrong with it. We use it within our group. We teach new people on it. We teach the kids on it. It works great for what we use it for. And to be honest with you, for what we do use it for, we have not seen a reason yet to have to go above and beyond that, because it just works for what we're using it for. So we're good, right? In the context of things, if we're out on the property using it as a means of communication within the group, but yet still being able to utilize it from a listening point of view, and like, let's say in like a listening post, we're so able to hear things that are going on outside of the area. It works. So why hate on it if it works when it's being used in that context, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So I think folks need to get rid of the hate of the tool and instead focus on the education of what you can do with it. I think that will be more beneficial, instead of going online and leaving a comment saying, "Oh, those Baofeng radios, those are the worst. They suck. That's a Chinese piece of shit." Whatever. Maybe for the guy like myself who is using it within the context of one's property, is there really anything wrong with it? Is it really a cheap piece of Chinese shit if it's working? It works. This should be the end of the discussion on it. So that's one aspect of it. Another thing that folks get their panties all in a twist about is firearms. Firearms is a biggie. Everyone says, "Oh, you're gonna if you have a $500 rifle, you're gonna die. If you have a $200 pistol, you're gonna die." Are ya? You can die with a $500 pistol. You can die with a $1,000 pistol. Same thing with rifles. It seems to be there's this attitude within not within the industry, within the community, that if you don't have what he has, you're doing it wrong and you're going to die. And why waste your time? Why bother? Well, maybe a guy does have $1,000 to purchase his first rifle, right? but he wants to buy ammunition for it, and he wants to set aside some time for training with it. Can the guy do that with $1,000? Absolutely, he can. Encourage him to do so. Go buy yourself the best rifle you can get that fits within your budget. Maybe it's a PSA build. Maybe it's Bear Creek Arsenal. Maybe it's, I'll use my rifle as an example. Maybe it's an Androcorp Industries rifle that's, $600-700. These firearm companies have come a long way, or especially over the last several years, with producing quality products at a reasonable price point. Now, maybe it's not your super duper cool dude operator who puts 50,000 rounds a year through his rifle and is having to put a new barrel in it every year, so on and so forth. Okay, maybe that's not the rifle for that guy, but that guy's use is different than the guy who's just starting out and just starting to learn. He wants to get into the game, but he only has so much money budgeted to allow for it. Now, I know some people are going to say, and I've seen these comments, and you guys who are leaving these comments, it's kind of it's a douchebag move where you say, well, quit being poor, or make it more of a priority, or go work overtime, or whatever it may be. All right. You don't know everyone's situation and what they're involved in. So maybe $1,000 for that guy is really pushing it, but he's dedicated himself to say, you know what, I got $1,000 set aside for this. What is the best that I can get into for that amount and get ammunition for and come out ahead, right? Why not encourage that guy to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of, man, in this price point, look at this, and this. You know what? If you have a few extra $100, look at this and this. If the sky's the limit, look at this and this. Encourage that guy to go get a rifle, to buy ammunition, and to go train with it, to go get proficient with it. I don't care what gun you have. If you have a rifle and you show up, God love you. Yes, come on in. All right, let's pause here for a moment, guys, because I realize that some of you guys are going to bring some of these things up in the comments and try to counter my point. But is there stuff that you should spend money on that could save your life? Absolutely. Like food, like water. Those things could save your life. Spend money on food and water. What about body armor? Spend money on body armor. Don't cheap out by buying $100 steel plates. That could really kill you. That could kill you. Medical gear. Don't cheap out on medical gear. Tourniquets are a great example. Don't go on Alibaba and buy a 3-pack of supposed cat tourniquets for $9. You know they're not real, right? You know they're not going to work. They're going to break on you. Don't cheap out on medical gear. Don't cheap out on NBC gear. Stuff like gas masks, filters. That's stuff that could kill you. Don't cheap out on that stuff. Don't cheap out on learning. Don't cheap out on learning. Look for reputable resources to learn from and go out and practice in the field. Not doing those things could kill you. So those are things that you do want to spend money on and that are important. So back to the regularly scheduled program. That's the attitude we should have, right? I mean, it truly is. So say to that guy, hey, I'm going to go out and buy a $500 Smith & Wesson Sport. I don't even know if you can get them for let's just say $500 Smith & Wesson Sport. I'm going to go purchase $200 worth of ammo. All right, awesome. And he's going to go buy 10 rifle magazines, okay? He's under his $1,000 budget right now. Now encourage that guy to say, hey, now that you got all those things, or once you get all those things, these are some great beginner's drills to start off with for getting proficient with that said firearm. So we need to turn the negativity around into a positive to say, hey, now that you have those things, use these drills starting off with to gain proficiency with that. Awesome. Now you're doing a good job with helping out. Another thing with firearms is guys will say, pistols. Oh, as soon as you mention Taurus, holy shit. It's like you can hear the heads explode around the community. Guys are thinking about Taurus pistols from several years ago. Today you have their G series pistols like the G2C, the G3, the G4 that have actually been, and it almost seems like when it comes to budget minded firearms, it's just about in everyone's top 5 budget minded pistols for concealed carry. I mean, they're great. They just work. They really do. So yeah, there's a name from years ago that didn't resonate, that had some issues, but today they're doing a great job. I can use my own as an example with having a G2C that is almost, I everyday carry it just about every single day. Um, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. There's nothing wrong with it. It does what it's supposed to do. Straight, plain, and simple. It does what it is supposed to do. So, once again, if a guy says, hey, I have $300, I got my concealed carry license, or hopefully you live in a state where you have constitutional carry and you don't need to worry about that, wants to buy his first pistol, right? He has X number of hundreds of dollars budgeted for it. Encourage that guy to go purchase a freaking pistol and sufficient ammunition for it. Encourage him to go take a class if he's new to firearms, and encourage him to go practice certain drills to gain proficiency with it. This is what we want people to do. Straight up, plain and simple. And then you see it with chest rigs. It's always, oh, you can't, oh, if you don't have a Haley or Spiritus micro rig and blah blah blah, you're gonna die. Really? Are you really gonna die if you don't have a Gucci chest rig? I don't think so. You know, what if a guy, all he has is a gun show Chicom chest rig? What if that he got for 12 or 15 bucks or maybe 30 bucks or whatever, and he makes it work for him, right? He makes it work for an AK platform or an AR platform. I mean, is there anything wrong with that, guys? Is there truly anything wrong with that guy setting himself up with a Chicom chest rig and rocking it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Encourage the guy. Rock that freaking chest rig. Absolutely. Rock that belt kit. Rock that Condor plate carrier. If this is all people have when it comes from a budget point of view of things, and believe me, there's a ton of guys that are in this category who are counting dollars to be able to afford stuff. There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. So let's change our philosophy on how we interact with folks, because there's a lot of you out there who have a ton of experience that could be put to good use with sharing with other folks, especially folks who are just getting into this mindset of preparedness from this point of view. Don't discourage guys, because believe me, the way a lot of the comments go out there in the interwebs, the way that the comments come out, I can see where guys are like, well, shit, why should I even bother? And so you're really going against what you should be doing. You should be encouraging, you should be inspiring, you should be helping, you should be advocating for that overall preparedness, right? So let's not tear down the guy who only has $1,000 and he wants to buy a rifle, ammo, and magazines and start training with it. Don't tear that guy down. You're not doing anybody in this community any good. Build that guy up. Give him some helpful advice when it comes to training with it. Don't focus on the tool. Focus on how it's going to be used. Focus on those drills. Focus on proficiency. So those would be these are just things that have stood out to me over the last maybe month and a half. Me and some of the guys have been talking about it. And we all come to the same conclusion, and it's funny. And like you guys don't see, a lot of you guys don't see it, especially those of you who, I think a lot of you guys realize we do this, but you guys who are making the hateful comments, you don't realize like that your comments are being shared far and wide within the community from content creators and even guys who aren't content creators, guys who are in the know, and will message each other and they'll be like, what the hell is that comment all about? So people see it. People really, really do. And you may not realize it, but these guys are pushing for all of us getting better, to help encourage these guys, to help make these guys who are new into this, to make them better. So that's kind of my spiel on that. I didn't know if I was going to make this video or not on it, but it was just something that was just bugging me. And you get a lot of these guys who get turned off, who are trying to do good, and they get turned off because they see these comments, and man, it's kind of like a defeatist mentality. So don't do it. Just don't do it. Just, if you don't have something good to say, then don't say it. If you have constructive criticism, and believe me, I know I get constructive criticism on my channel, and I will definitely look into it and try it. And if it's something that can help me better myself, I full on take advantage of those comments. But when it's just piddly, defeatist, demeaning comments, you're not doing anybody any good. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. That's it. Not my best video, but I think it's a video that needed to be made, and I hope other content creators, guys within this community, it's time that we put our foot down a little bit and say, whoa, like, enough, guys, enough of the hate out there. Let's start building each other up on these few things. All right. So that's what I got for you guys. So if you have comments, put them down below, obviously, and we'll follow up on this as the next month or two kick into gear. But anyways, that's it. So go get out there, go train, go use that $500 rifle, go run some drills with it, go use your $200 pistol, run some drills with it, go get proficient with it. That's what you should be doing. We shouldn't be focusing on the hate. Let's look at the good things. So anyways, that's all I got. You guys be good, keep getting out there, and we'll chat soon. Later.